It's been a long and sleepless night in Ukraine, and well, the world's worst fears realised just before 3 o'clock UK time with a full-scale Russian invasion.
It's a classic military tactic. Just in the hours before dawn, you take out as much as you can of the infrastructure and then move up the infantry and the tanks, which is probably what is happening now. What we still can't get a clear picture of is the scale. I mean, it's big. But it's crucial to know, for example, has Odessa been invaded? That is a city on the Black Sea. If so, then it's even bigger than we first thought, because there would be no point in doing that if you weren't going to try and cut the whole Black Sea coast off, join it to Crimea, join that up to the Donbass. There's also, again, unconfirmed reports that the Russians are coming out of Belarus and down southwards. If all that's true, then they're going to take a huge chunk out of Ukraine. If it is just the Donbass region, it will be more limited, but it's still incredibly bloody. I do tend to believe the Russian reports that they've neutralized Ukraine's capacity to put planes up. I mean, there is just no competition between the two air forces, and if that's true, then they have complete air domination to move around almost at will. And we have to wait to see if the reports of up to 5 Russian jets being shot down are true. It does sound quite a lot, given the amount of firepower that the Ukrainians have to use.
But how do you see this on the international front, Tim? How do you see this developing today? I mean, the EU saying, "Oh, we're going to come up with a bigger package of sanctions and things." I mean, obviously that's just not going to make any difference now, is it?
No. I mean, you know, the time has passed. What they did with the sanctions, which were fairly substantial, was to say, look, this is going to hurt. Please don't go any further. But they have held things in reserve. So you're going to see absolute condemnation, left, right, and center from around the world all day. This, of course, was priced in by Putin. It will not halt whatever his objectives are. They will still hold some sanctions back, because if you get to a scenario in a couple of days' time, if this is what they're going to do, and they're driving towards the capital, and threatening the capital, the outside world still needs something short of a direct military intervention themselves to be able to say, as a pressure, as a stick with which to say to Moscow, do not take the capital, you know, halt now, otherwise we're going to do X, Y, and Z. For example, the SWIFT banking system, try to kick Russia out of that, although that will be problematic. I mean, France, for example, I think the $25 billion worth of debt are owed to French banks, and they would have no way of getting that money back if they kicked Russia out of the SWIFT international banking system. So all this stuff will play out, and I think an awful lot of it is predicated on when we get this picture of exactly what is it they're going for. Is it just to take the whole of the Donbass, or are they going to join the Donbass up to the Crimea, which means taking the whole Sea of Azov coast, and then all the way along to Odessa, which means taking the Black Sea coast? Because if they do that, they're cutting Ukraine off from the sea. They're making it essentially an agrarian-based economy, because the Donbass is the industrialized region. The Black Sea coastline is where all the trade comes in and out by sea. If they cut them off from all that, what you're left with is the wheat-growing area in the middle, and that's not really sustainable.